All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Go Brandon Green. Today on the show, we have Alex Capozzolo, and he heads two websites, SD House Guys and brotherlyloveproperties.com. Alex, tell us about that. You're a real estate agent, real estate mogul.
I'll take it. Well, thanks for having me on, Brandon. Appreciate it. As you said, I'm running two different websites right now. Both are in the real estate niche, and it's mostly for real estate investing. So me and my business partner are in two different markets here in the U.S., one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. So we're in California and in Pennsylvania, up in the Northeast. And online presence, as I'm sure you know, your listeners know, is huge nowadays. We tried lots of different marketing channels. When we first started our business, we did all the hard to do outbound marketing, direct mail, texting, emailing, PPC, door knocking, and pretty much anything that you can think of. We probably tried at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And
when did you start this?
We started this, 6 years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because in America, so what does the business do? Because it says that you buy houses.
Yep. So we do some rental stuff. So we have a couple of properties that we bought and then just hold those as rentals. So we do the whole landlord thing. Other times we'll buy a property and fix it up and flip it. So it kind of depends on the numbers, but those are usually our two exit strategies.
Because I think that that's pretty big in America, where there's businesses such as yourselves that buy ones like rundown houses and then flip them. It's not really something that's done here at a business level, but yeah, especially 10 years ago, everyone was doing it when they were $30,000 houses in Vegas and everything. But yeah, Philadelphia is that's a bit ghetto, that city, isn't
it? Yes.
I remember I've been there and I was like, this place is wow. Yeah.
Oh wow. What did you go to Philly for?
Don't know. I think went there on the way to the Amish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went, so I've checked that out. I've never been to San Diego, but I've been to California everywhere. But I don't know. San Diego might be going better than the other parts of California at the moment. I don't know. But yeah, so how are the house prices and that there?
Down in San Diego?
Yeah.
High.
Yeah, right.
Definitely high. I mean, the demand here, even though the market, at least in the US right now, is pretty strange at the moment. We just have pretty high interest rates that we're dealing with. So not many people are selling unless they really need to. Like they're in a tough kind of life situation, whether they inherited the property from a family member and they need to get rid of it, or divorce is a common one that we've seen in the past year or so.
So because that's starting to happen here. Well, it's actually real bad now. They just last Tuesday put the interest rates up here, and it looks like no kids are getting Christmas presents this year because it's the cost of living's just out of control. So how's this affecting your I guess like you just said, the world still does go on, but it's not a hot market. But you know, that's just because I myself was a real estate agent 10, 11, 12 years ago. So but the real estate agencies differ quite a lot in what we do, and how houses are sold and that. So did you need to get licensing and everything to become an agent to set up these agencies?
Yeah. So we have a license both in California and in Pennsylvania, which is helpful. So either market, we can kind of do it all under the real estate umbrella. So that's pretty helpful. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. Like the San Diego market is its own bubble. It's probably a combo of the weather and the beaches and all that, but the demand to live here is still pretty high. So even though the market's weird and it's not a great time for real estate, there's still a lot of people moving to San Diego. So that's still driving up the demand, at least here. Philly's a different story for sure. But that's why it's nice almost that we have two markets to balance each other out if one's getting a little funky,
The cities couldn't be any more different from each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And So you've got rentals on your in both places?
For now, we only have rentals in Philly because we've
Yep.
been there longer. So just there for now, but our hope is to also expand and have a couple rentals out here too in San Diego.
Yeah. All right, cool. And is there any other cities in the pipeline as well?
Just nearby ones, but
Yeah.
all within the two counties that we're in. So we don't stray too far away from the two
Yeah.
primary cities that we're in. We've tried before in the past. Yeah, we had a couple of pages on our website that were more like national keywords, so it could be just sell my house. But
Yeah.
we ranked it, almost across the U.S. For a short time, and we tried to work those leads, but I don't know. It was tough to convert them, and there were a few that worked out number wise and penciled out, and we tried, but we just couldn't quite close one. And it's so market by market depending on where you're trying to do business. So we just decided stay in our lane, stick where we are. So we're just staying to both coasts, and that's it.
Yeah. So you'd say that so you have like an SEO background or something?
Yeah, self-taught. So I
Yeah.
guess whatever background that would give me for that. But yeah,
As
like I was
everyone
saying
is with these
before.
new and emerging technologies and niches. But I did have a look at your website, and yeah, it does have good amount of traffic. Anything in If you have any traffic in a real estate uh niche, you're doing good. Because in Australia, you're dominated by like 6 or 7 websites that are humongous, and that I'd imagine it'll be the same in America.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird industry to be in because Google is just like a forever moving target. Once you feel
Yeah,
like you have it figured out, they change their algorithm and then you got to do different stuff, but no one actually knows what that stuff is. We're all kind of guessing and just, trying to game it in a way. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's interesting. Keeps us busy for sure.
yeah, right. And did you know about web marketing before you got into the real estate, or was the other way around?
Real estate first and then
Real
SEO
estate
second.
first. Yeah. And what made you start the real estate businesses? Did you work as a junior somewhere else, or you just because you've done very well considering you just started 6 years ago and you're 30 now, so you're very young. But you know, yeah, how did you get into that?
Like a lot of people, I just read the right book at the right time. For me, at
Yeah,
least, a lot of people, I think, on different levels of real estate have read Rich Dad Poor Dad or like business people too. But that was the book that got me into it. So read that book and then found out about the idea of like passive income and stuff like that. Was pretty sold on that, and just thought that sounded pretty nice, and that's where we got our start.
yeah, right. And where did you meet your business partner? Because he's
We
on
go
the
way
other
back.
side of the yeah.
Yeah. We met in kindergarten, 5 years
Okay.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mm,
But we're lucky. No, it's definitely like a bromance for sure that we have going on.
yeah.
He was my best man at my wedding 2 years ago. I was just his best man at his wedding. Um, so it works out. Yeah, we're definitely very lucky and very fortunate. We're on the same page with a lot of stuff, so it kind of makes running our businesses easy, which is nice.
Yeah. So none of you really had any real estate experience, and then just suddenly just built this.
Yeah, trial and error. We just tried a lot of different stuff. We
That's the
failed.
thing
We
about
tried.
America, man. It's such a dog eat dog world that, like, yeah, you can if you really excel, and it's just so like door knocking. You just said here, everyone's like, oh, door knocking, like, but I've door knocked for years. I'm like, it's the best way. Door knocking is still alive and thriving, so especially post COVID. Now you couldn't do it for a couple of years because people would shoot you for coming to their door. Uh, but
Right.
um, but yeah, but now it's still a thing. Like everyone, you just how easy is it to get a few leads just if you talk to 20, 15 people? Like everyone's got something going on in their lives, and they everyone has an opinion about what you are selling, and you just
Yeah.
open the dialogue with them, and off you go. Yeah. So you did that initially to build the business.
Yeah, we tried that among a couple other things, but that was one of our marketing channels was just pounding the
Yeah.
pavement, knocking
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah. Right. So you were pretty. You were a go getter from the beginning. What were you doing before that?
For real estate was just in different sales roles that
Yeah.
never really felt like the right fit. Just really like kind of random stuff, like selling. It was like software to car dealerships, which I'm not really into, and like other random stuff like that.
Yeah. Just yeah, a normal salary man, as they're called in Japan. Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. No, that's cool that you've got your own business going. And what are your plans on the future for these two?
Plans are trying to expand in San Diego more. Like I said, we don't have any rentals here yet, so would
Yeah.
love to get a couple of those. That would be awesome, especially since houses out here are like 10 times the amount as the ones in Philly. So it'd be huge if we could expand here.
So
Really, that I think is like our
what's
main
a
goal.
typical house worth in San Diego?
In my neighborhood, the median home value is 1.8 million.
Yeah, right. It's getting like that here in Australia. I mean, houses that were under 1 million are now like 2 million 3 years later. Huh.
What part of
Is it
Australia do you live in?
like Brisbane?
Okay.
Have you been to
So
Australia?
no, no, I have been
Oh,
to New Zealand, but
New
never
Zealand. Oh,
Australia.
yeah, near
Mhm.
enough. But no, San Diego's real close to the Mexican border.
45-minute drive.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to go there once, but because I was living in Phoenix, and then yeah, but yeah, it would have been interesting to see, and it's a big city.
Pretty big. Yeah, I think it's in the top 15 or 20
Yeah.
population wise. So pretty
Oh,
big.
right. Yeah. Wow. And over on the East Coast, yeah, how's that? How's that? What's the average house price there?
A lot lower. Philly is like 200,000 is the median of the whole city.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. So do you get many people wanting to sell up where near your area and move into a place like that? They'd be able to
Kind of.
buy the whole the suburb, man.
Yeah, buy the whole block, buy the whole street. No, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, people you get a mix of it, right? It's like some people want to live in California by the coast, probably similar to your city. It's like they want to be by the water in the nice city, whatever.
Yeah.
So you have that influx that's always going to come. And then you also have people who are tired of, right? Tired of the prices, they're tired of California, tired of the politics, whatever. And they move to somewhere else. Texas has been a big place. People have
Yeah,
moved.
what is that really true that like everyone's like a lot of people have moved from California to Texas? Mainly for the taxes, I've heard. That's been going on for a few years now, but it's like, yeah, that seems to be a big thing I hear about.
The taxes and the barbecue.
Yeah, and the barbecue, Texan barbecue, because California's really getting out of control with the prices. What about like up north? You don't have anything like that where all the supermarkets are caged in down there? Where they got all the, what do you see in the most expensive city there, San Fran? It's
Hmm.
all locked up and everything. It's not like that in San Diego. San Diego seemed to be a bit more normal.
Definitely more normal than San Francisco. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah,
It's crazy there what's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a
It
lot of
is.
people are moving from there down to pretty much anywhere else that they can move.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have any drug problems around San Diego like you do in Los Angeles or?
No more than your average. Yeah, San Diego's pretty safe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty safe. Crime's not overwhelming. If you go downtown, you can find shady stuff probably, but overall, it's pretty nice.
yeah. Okay. And what are the typical house sizes and block sizes there that you're dealing with?
Really anything, but mostly residential.
Yeah,
And then for size wise, anything from a single family to like a quadplex. So 4 units is usually where we stick to.
yeah. And what about in terms of flipping them? I wouldn't imagine you'd be flipping them in San Diego compared to uh, on the East Coast there.
Yeah, not as much yet, but it really depends. It's
Yeah,
all deal dependent and depends on the specific numbers of that property. Some
yeah,
we've been close to flipping out here, but we got beat out by another investor. So
yeah,
didn't get it, but hoping to do one soon.
yeah, yeah. Well, interesting time the next few months to see what happens with. Surely something's got to give, especially here. But it's just the prices. Your prices in the supermarkets just going up and up every week.
Everything, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beef jerky, toilet paper, you name it, it's expensive.
yeah, yeah. Right. What about gas in the last few years?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely. Same by you, or how is it over there?
yeah, yeah. Everything's just going nuts in the supermarket and accommodation. We got people now living like it's LA in the in tents in the. Would not never thought I'd see that, but
So what do we do about it?
I don't know, man. Like, probably stop inviting people to come when, yeah, it's getting crazy. But is that like that in Philadelphia as well?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
across the board, the US is definitely dealing with some inflation. So
yeah.
things overall are more expensive.
So
Yeah,
it's a
which is
whole country wide. Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
yeah. And when does is there any other cities that you're looking at flipping the houses in?
Probably not at the moment. Yeah, just mostly just trying to perfect San Diego, and
Yeah,
then whatever we have in Philly, keep it the way it is because we're doing, we're pretty confident in how we've been doing it the past couple of years. It's worked, it's paid the bills, we've grown a little bit each year, so I'm just hoping to keep that going too.
yeah, right. And with these houses now, because I actually lived in a brand new house, and it turns out it was water damaged house, and I got mold toxicity from it. And
Oh
I see
wow.
a lot of people in America now saying that they have to live in these a lot of it because they reckon 50% of houses in America and Australia, things like that, are now water damaged, and then people who are susceptible to them get it. Is that a thing that you're seeing from these old houses that you're ripping up? Is there a lot of mold damage? You have you come across any of that?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. We don't see that too much on the flipping side, but my last apartment that I just moved from, which was a
Hmm.
little bit closer to the ocean,
Yeah,
we had to leave because it had a huge mold issue and like half our stuff got ruined. We had to throw it out. We're like in a lawsuit with our landlord, all sorts of our previous landlord, all this crazy stuff.
right.
Um,
And what city is that in?
that was in Del Mar, which is like the city right above San Diego.
Yeah, okay, wow. Because a lot of people say they try to go to California just for it, for the lower humidity, but there are a lot of people getting it in California as well. So, and apartment blocks are like notorious for it because they're just built just crap. So whereabouts was it in your apartment there?
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the rooms, it got on our couches, our when I say
Are
it, yeah,
you,
it was like snowing, but it was, white mold everywhere, dude.
oh
It was
man, did you get sick? Did anyone get sick?
my wife and my sister-in-law, who we were living with at the time, both got sick and they tested for mold. So they, sent their from like, they peed in a cup, mailed that to the mold company, and
Mycotoxin,
it did
your own
come back with,
mycotoxin.
yeah, sounds like you
Yeah,
know about
I
so they
know
did
all
get rid
about
of it.
it, man. I've been living
Yeah.
indoors for 18 months now because I'm intolerant to sunlight. So yeah,
Damn.
they've got SIRS, which is chronic inflammatory response syndrome. Yeah, yeah, they got mold. Yeah, so there are a lot of people they get chronic fatigue syndrome or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were sick like that. 'Cause,
Yeah, definitely symptoms like that for sure.
yeah, it turns out my neighbor had the same thing. Um, yeah, and they were maybe I got it from their house because I got water, I got testing done and everything, but maybe it blew over. I don't know how all that works, but you're I've seen pictures of how. When did you just think to leave this house? That sounds crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, I
That's
mean, Dude, it's a weird thing, right? Because it's like mold is like a silent killer too. It's like
It's this thing that no one's even open to. You, me, doctors, or anything like. Oh yeah, that's just it's everywhere because you do see it everywhere. But then when you live with it and you're part of the 25% of people that have the genes, which I got tested, which your family can also get tested for, that they'll come back with 25% a lot of people, and it's also the minority as well, so that can be helped to keep it, you know, swept under the carpet, so to speak. But so if you were susceptible to being poisoned by this stuff and you lived in a house where it just grew crazy, that's that is crazy. But a lot of people, well, they worry about these house flippers that buy these apartments like because it would have been cheap now, especially if it's exposed like that. And then they just flip it, and then they just but all the mold and spores, and they're as dangerous as ever. It just got a fresh paint of coat. So I was just wondering if you've ever come across that, but it sounds like you're on the lookout for that too now. So yeah, that is interesting because it doesn't affect too many people, but well, I guess it does. Me and you are strangers, and you just said that it's a becoming trend. That's why I brought it up. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. And like you said, people like doctors and everyone just kind of write it off as not a big deal, but it's a
I
pretty
got
big
sent
deal.
to the psych ward for 5 days, man, because they thought that I was just crazy. I'm like, look at all the people. Oh, that's all bullshit. I was like, you're a nut. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
it is good for you for saying something and staying firm on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you kind of have to when you go outside and get burnt and a rash just breaks out, but they can't
Totally.
explain, but they won't admit that it's something. Yeah. Weird thing about that, man. But yeah. Oh, well, that's good that you're healthy. And are they recovering now?
They are, yeah. It was just short term for them, which is fortunately.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of it's hidden in a lot of places, and it's as bad as that, but on the other side of the wall, and they live there for years, and they just get so sick. So that is fortunate, and it's good that all your eyes are open to what can happen. Yeah,
Hmm.
and everything. And what plans do you have on in the future now?
Well, like I said, just trying to expand more in San Diego. That's probably our main focus.
Yeah.
And we're also kind of looking into getting into other just bigger asset classes within real estate. We've been flirting with the idea of maybe looking into like warehouse flipping. Very
Oh
different than
yeah.
what we're doing now, but we just thought it could be like a fun thing to try alongside everything else we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Like in the industrial areas there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. How do you flip a warehouse? Wouldn't anyone just be happy with anything? It's not like there's bathrooms and you know they're all got mile high ceilings on them. And
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess find a really, really beat up one and then just make it slightly less beat up and then resell.
yeah,
Maybe that would be the way to do it.
yeah, cool. And what about Vegas, Mark? How far are you from Vegas?
I could drive to Vegas. It's like 5 hour drive
Yeah,
from San
because
Diego.
that
So not
market always seems to be it's very cheap out there, and it's always the most how do I say, unstable. I think.
yeah, it
Why
goes
is
up
that?
and down a lot. So you're right.
Yeah,
But yeah, we haven't looked at it too much in terms of investing. I think it's getting more saturated. It's kind of on a lot of people's radar over the
yeah.
past couple of years.
And what about Florida? That was where the dirt cheap houses were as well 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, Florida's still a good market. A lot of people invest in Florida just because it's
Yeah,
huge. There's
that's
plenty of
right.
them. Yeah.
From top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. And you're always going to live there, where you're living for the moment, because you're just growing out at San Diego. It sounds like that's your plan. Yeah,
Yeah, my wife has an office here.
yeah.
So she's stationary. I could technically kind of move around a little bit, but because of that, we'll probably be here for a while, set up roots.
All right, cool, man. All right, well, thanks for coming on. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Alex, with us?
No, I think that
No.
that's it was a good conversation. But to all your listeners, if you think you are dealing with mold, don't psych
Yeah,
yourself out. Talk to someone, and don't let landlords mess you around either.
yeah. Don't and leave. Oh, you also said you're going through something like that at the moment. because it was your landlord.
Oh, so yeah, previous landlord. So we're
Yeah,
thankfully out
previously,
of the
and
situation, but
but that's an
we're in the lawsuit now. Yeah,
yeah, and that's another big challenge of it internationally, because no one wants to take any responsibility for it, or how could they not when you just said it was growing on? I've heard of these cases where the spores do grow up everywhere. Yeah.
yep.
So,
They blame you. They just say you're dirty. It's your fault.
oh yeah.
That's their like the card that they pull.
Yeah, except it always comes from like the roof or something, a leaking somewhere, and that's where it just expands from. But it's your fault, Alex. Yeah,
Totally. Yep.
man,
You know it.
I'm just so happy that they, because you can be real crook like I am, and I'm just so happy that they know and everyone knows. And anyone, yeah, looking for houses either side of the country, Alex is your man. Do you ever help with, because in America you guys have relations with other real estate agents to do deals with other agencies or something? If you have a buyer, you'll ring up them. That's quite common or something.
Yeah, we do all sorts of different collaborations.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
what I
So
mean. It's
yeah.
dog eat dog world, man. In Australia, you just, if nothing works out, you just go on easy street and go on the dole, the rock and roll, the welfare. But you can't do that anymore, man, because that won't even get you the tent to blow up living under the bridge, man. Yeah,
Mhm.
interesting times. All right,
Totally.
Alex. Well, great to have you on.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
No worries.